Greetings to all those who are joining with us today on our discussion on the importance of corporate governance and risk management in an ever-evolving business climate. So today we have with us two distinguished and experienced business professionals, Mr. Ashen Jayasekara, a Senior Independent Director at LB Finance PLC, and Mr. Sunil Dabarera, who is the Chief Internal Auditor at the same esteemed organization. As one of Sri Lanka's leading financial institutions, LB Finance has earned a reputation for accountability and trust among the people. So under the guidance of this expert panel, we hope to discover how to achieve stability and resilience through good governance and strong risk mitigation practices. Mr. Jayasekara, let's kick off the discussion with your perspective on this topic. Why do you believe that good corporate governance and risk management is important to both the company and to the stakeholders of LB Finance PLC? We would like to know about your views on that.
Yes, corporate governance is very, very important. It plays a very pivotal role in an organization. And when you have an effective and evolved corporate governance framework in the company, which also includes risk management, it serves as an anchor. It enables the company to remain calm, especially in a very volatile and economically challenging environment. Corporate governance has many benefits, and one of the key benefits it provides is it ensures that shareholder wealth is protected. It enables the company to identify potential risks and threats as well, and this enables the company to stay financially stable in the long run. There are other benefits also which corporate governance gives a company. Some of the other benefits is it promotes transparency and accountability. It increases the confidence and trust that shareholders and stakeholders place in the company. Now, this in a way helps to prevent frauds, misconduct, and unethical behavior. Corporate governance also enables a company to engage effectively with its various stakeholders. So good corporate governance framework will ensure that all stakeholders, key stakeholders of a company are identified. Their concerns are taken into account when strategy is formulated, which certainly enhances stakeholder engagement. One of the other benefits that corporate governance provides is it ensures that the company has a good risk management framework in place. A good risk management framework will enable the company to identify the various types of risks an organization faces. It could be a strategic risk, an operational risk, a compliance risk. So the company will ensure that there are proper mitigation strategies in place to control all these risks so that the chances of a company achieving its corporate goals are enhanced. Corporate governance also ensures that a company can attract the capital and the resources and talent it needs to stay sustainable. So these are some of the benefits of corporate governance, good corporate governance.
Thank you, Mr. Jayasekara. So could you outline some of the steps taken by LB Finance to ensure effective governance and risk management? What are the steps?
So at LB Finance, the board is right at the top, and it is the ultimate decision-making body of an organization. So this board consists of executive, non-executive, and independent non-executive directors. And all these three types of directors play a very important role in strategy formulation at LB Finance. Now, the good corporate governance, which we have implemented at LB Finance, ensures that our financial reporting that takes place with all our different types of stakeholders is timely and accurate. And this is achieved by having very good auditors, by having a very good internal control framework in the organization, as well as having the right kind of culture. We as directors ensure that we oversee specifically all processes related to the financial reporting process, so that the integrity of the financial statements are maintained. Another important feature at LB Finance is we have introduced risk management frameworks, which align with ISO 31000, which is one of the key standards when it comes to risk management, issued by the Institute of International Standards Organization. And this framework enables us to scan the environment, identify the risks, evaluate them, and put in place good risk treatments to ensure that we achieve our corporate goals. Of course, when it comes to risk, there are different types of risk, as I mentioned before: strategic risks, compliance risks, reporting risks, operational risks. So at the risk management committee meetings that we have, we elaborate, we discuss and deliberate on these types of risks and ensure that proper action is taken by the management to address these types of risks that the company faces. We also promote ethical behavior and CSR right across all operations. ESG risks are taken into account, and this is to some extent achieved by having a good code of conduct, a good business code of conduct. Then we have grievance mechanisms and whistleblowing policies as well, which in a way create the right kind of culture in the organization to promote ethical business practices. We also ensure that executive or remuneration is aligned with the performance of the company. So these are some of the steps that we have taken in terms of corporate governance at LB Finance.
All right. So my next question is a bit different. As an independent non-executive director and also a senior independent director at LB Finance, what value do you believe independent directors bring to the company with respect to risk and governance?
All directors play a very important role, irrespective of whether they are independent or not. But independent directors have a greater responsibility when it comes to discharging their role in terms of corporate governance. So the entire board's composition, diversity and skills are made use of in discharging corporate governance in a company. Now the board of directors at LB Finance have a very vital role to play when it comes to reviewing strategy formulation. Strategy formulated by the management is discussed and deliberated at board level. And when it comes to these deliberations, independent directors play a very important role. They bring in that independent objective perspective to the discussions and deliberations that take place. They also provide their impartial views, and since they have no vested interest at all, they are able to better challenge the management assumptions, the basis that have been utilized for strategy formulation. When it comes to selecting independent directors as well, we ensure that there is a proper process in place, objective and independent process in place when it comes to selecting the most suited independent directors to a company. Having independent directors, it also shows our shareholders and other key stakeholders that the management is willing to accept, to be challenged, to accept constructive criticism. And I think in that regard, independent directors play a very vital and important role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jayasekara, for that insightful discussion. Moving on to Mr. Dambarera, can you please elaborate a bit more on what kind of rewards LB Finance PLC has been able to gain from good corporate governance and risk management? We are really curious to know about that.
Thank you so much for having me here, Nipani. So as discussed previously, there are many benefits that LB Finance was able to realize during the year by focusing good corporate governance and also the risk management. As mentioned, Mr. Jayasekara, if an organization that follows such practices is seen as trustworthy and also reliable, LB Finance also has achieved this definitely. As you can see, the brand, LB brand, has strong reputation in the market and also is renowned for trust and stability. Over the years, we were able to rely on this reputation to achieve this success and also to formulate strong relationship with our all stakeholders. We were also able to make timely and informed decisions that helped us to retain our stability during a very challenging time in our nation's history. Because everything is built on transparency and accountability, we were able to make decisions that would benefit both the company as well as all stakeholders, and also deliver more value to the organization, even in the middle of high volatile situation. Due to our strong mechanisms, we have always been able to reduce the risk on legal as well as the reputational related issues. This helps us saving significantly on time and money, and also retain our reputation at higher level. We have therefore established stringent processes to all three lines of defenses to monitor the compliance of all the rules, regulations, and the statutes, and also more importantly the voluntary standards, which have in turn minimized the risk of non-conformities and also the reputational damages. We have to discuss more on employees as well. So in terms of employees are also more likely to remain loyal and also committed to an organization that undertakes ethical and fair dealings. So this improves the morale as well as the retention. So more importantly, it improves the employee engagement as well. So as a result, LB Finance was recognized as great place to work in 22-23. So we have also been able to build positive relationship with our stakeholders, which has helped us to achieve all our strategic goals over the years. A heightened risk awareness, management and mitigation of risks, good triple bottom line performance are the internal benefits that we have achieved by implementing these strong corporate governance practices. These internal benefits helps us to create and reap external benefits as well, such as better marketing of our products and services, improved liquidity through our bonds and shares, and maintenance of corporate reputation and improved access to capital are some of them.
Can you describe in brief some of the external and internal frameworks and policies that govern the organization?
As non-banking financial institution, so the LB Finance has a lot of governance requirements. So one of the major external corporate governance requirement is to comply with statutory and regulatory requirements in the country. So in addition, there are some more. If I explain further, the market competition, media exposure, cybersecurity risks, takeover activities, and public releases, and the assessment of financial statements are some of them. So the LB Finance managed to address this requirement by implementing transparent governance process within the corporate culture. By just implementing, I don't think we can achieve this success, but the compliance monitoring is the key. So the all three lines of defense, we have strengthened to make sure that the requirements are complied with. The main purpose of internal corporate governance controls is to safeguard the company's assets. So there are 5 elements at LB we follow as internal control framework. So the risk assessment, control environment, control activities, information communication and monitoring are the 5 key elements that we follow within our organization. The details of this aspect is discussed more in our annual report 22-23.
All right. So can you share with the audience some insights into implementing an effective corporate governance system within an organization and how it may impact risk management? What is your say on that?
As non-banking financial institution, the implementation of good corporate governance and risk management system is heavily dependent on the intention of the board of directors. So it was not an easy task. And the change did not happen overnight, I should say. It has always been challenging, and over the years, all the board members, senior management, and their respective teams have carried out their respective roles promptly and effectively, which has brought LB Finance into the standards it is today. As you may be aware, we were recognized as the first and second runners-up on corporate governance disclosures by Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka in the past 2 years in a row, we were also recognized as the second runner-up in terms of corporate governance disclosures by South Asian Federation Accountants, and became only Sri Lankan institution to do so in 2022-23. While there are a few steps that we need follow in implementing good corporate governance and risk management practices, we believe in staying up to date and relevant are the key. So therefore, we engage continuous reviews and improvements to the existing mechanisms to maintain our long-term success. Now, in terms of corporate governance and its impact on risk. So these two are closely related, and effective corporate governance practices can have a significant impact on risk management process in a company. So good corporate governance helps a company to establish clear risk management policies and procedures. That means the company can rely on the governance to identify risk, assess their likelihood and potential impact, and develop strategies to mitigate and manage them. Effective corporate governance practices ensure that the board is properly informed about the risk facing by the company. The board also provides oversight and guidance to the management to help developing and implementing risk management strategies. Good corporate governance practices additionally promote accountability and transparency in the risk management process. Corporate governance practices can also influence the risk culture of a company. A culture that promotes ethical behavior and accountability can help to minimize the likelihood of risks and ensure they are accurately managed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jayasekara and Mr. Dabrera, for taking your time off your busy schedules to share your insights on this important topic of effective corporate governance and risk management. Thank you very much for joining with us today, and we hope the session was really insightful for all of you as well. So let's meet on the next episode. Until then, thank you very much and have a good day.